Alright, guys. Um, yeah, this is going to be the title of this one. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not here to bash the topic. I'm not here to bash the idea. Not here to bash what people do or don't do. Okay? I'm here to give my statements based on through my own eyes of my own experiences and what I've known with my family. Me growing up, my parents growing up, and probably even, well, I ain't gonna say my grandparents growing up. Anyway, I don't need to go too far on this anyway. Anyway, give you a little background about behind me, if I haven't already discussed this, which I don't think I have anyway. If I have, well, just bear with me, sit through it. I'll try to be as brief as possible to get to my ultimate point. I didn't grow up in church, technically. At home, Mama strived to try to take us to church, and she tried to, have, hopefully, Daddy would go along with it, or not that Daddy had anything wrong with it. Daddy wasn't opposed to church, but that's kind of how it was. Daddy grew up in church. My grandparents on my daddy's side, they were full blown in church. But there were skeletons in the closet. And I think that's what kind of, sort of gave Daddy some negativity. Mental negativity. Because some of the leaders, or some of the teachers or whatever that he dealt with in church, he didn't, he just kind of, didn't always care to be there, to be involved. He could see a faker, he could see a fake, an actor a mile away, kind of like I can. Spirit reveals. That's in the Bible, and it's a fact. Spirit reveals. If you're paying attention, you're listening to God, it will be revealed unto you of the wolf in the sheep's clothing. Neither my grandfather nor my grandmother on my daddy's side was perfect. My grandmother, she was a registered nurse, and she got to where somehow or another, I don't know, I think she ended up having problems with back pain and things like that, and got put on some medicine for it and stuff, and then started getting addicted to painkillers, and eventually, she was cut off by the doctor, and she was stealing patients' medicines, prescribed medicines. And, going to church. Church of God. Hallelujah. My grandfather, I don't know if he did this before or after he was accepted Christ. The way my daddy describes it, he liked his muscadine wine. Always kept a jug of it up under the kitchen sink. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that you are not allowed to have a drink. It says not to be drunk. And everything pretty much you can do in moderation. As long as you stay within moderation. Now, if you don't choose to want to do that stuff, that's fine. That's your choice. You know, so, that's between you and God. And only you'll know what God tells you He, wants for you. But drinking is not a sin, but it can be a problem if you cannot learn to control it. But anyway, that's a different topic. Anyway, Diddy was a freaking mess growing up. Couldn't keep him out of trouble half the time. I think I already discussed that in the parts of my story. But he would when he got into real bad trouble from the train wreck, he started going to church more often. Mama, I don't think she was raised up in church, but they did attend church at times. Mama's whole upbringing was upside down, turned around. Her mom might as well have been a single mother of all the kids, because her dad was all the time chasing skirt. If he couldn't get it at home, he'd go find it somewhere else. She attended Presbyterian churches, and I don't think there was ever any there might have been one Catholic church that she went that she attended with a friend or something. I can't remember the exact story. I think she did once upon a time attend a Catholic church to get that experience. Didn't even know what she was going to be experiencing. But as I was growing up, most of the time, if I went to church with Granddaddy. By then, my grandmother had already passed away. She passed away when I was 5. We moved different places and stuff as I was growing up. I already mentioned that. But in the summer times, if we, finally when we got grounded, when Daddy got us grounded enough, in a consistent place to live, which I'm pretty sure we didn't visit Granddaddy when we was living in Manchester or Columbus. I think we mainly just started visiting him when we lived in Warm Springs. And eventually, we'd go, spend a week or two with him for the summer while we were out for break. And he'd take us to church. A lot of times he'd take us to church. There might have been a time or two that we didn't go while we were there, or he'd skip it because grandkids are there, and he didn't want he didn't want us whining about it or anything like that, because we just weren't we had nothing against it. We just wasn't much experienced with it, and you go and being little kids and stuff, trying to keep little kids occupied, keeping them calmed down, and him and his girlfriend were trying to enjoy the preaching or whatever, trying to learn something, trying to listen to the preaching or whatever. He'd try to get us, he would take us at times and try to get us into whatever Sunday school, for our age, for our grade level or age level. Things like that, just typical stuff, typical things that grandparents did or do. Nothing wrong with that. And, of course, I was too little, too young to see what I seen as I got older. And then as I got older, I met that preacher that married us and everything. started attending, that type and that style of church, Baptist church. It was more independent Baptist, never was Southern Baptist, which I'm glad for. Nothing wrong with you Southern Baptists, but, anyway. Nothing wrong with any of y'all, because we're all supposed to be God's children. We're all supposed to be, God's church. It's not about the name on the side of the building, Church of Christ. We are the Church of Christ. All of us. All of us that are actually born again Bible believers. Saved, repented, saved. And then later, if you get, if you're led to or whatever, baptize in water. Showing of works. And please, if anybody disagrees with that, you have that right. I don't want to get into an argument with you. We will argue that too. We're not supposed to argue, but I'll pull out. For every scripture you pull out, I'll pull out another one. Okay, let's just go ahead and put it out there like that. So best just not to do that. I'm too hard-headed. And I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove you different. I'll prove you wrong. Anyway, off of that, because I do know there might be a couple people that might try to say something. But anyway, you have that right. It's freedom of speech. I love you regardless. I love all of you regardless of you agreeing or disagreeing. It's just like the election, last election results, and so on and so forth. We're not going to agree on everything. So anyway, I got really strong in church attendance. Got to where I was there, after we got saved and everything. I was there every day, every time the doors opened. If they had Sunday school, whatever the doors were opened. We did Vacation Bible School. We were involved in that. Me and my wife, we were involved. Me and Dessa were involved in a lot of things. Christmas plays, going up into singing in the choir during Sunday service, during Sunday morning service, Sunday evening service, Wednesday evening service. We always up there in the choir singing. And at this time, I did not expect to see and or realize what potential problematic possibilities that you can find in church. And I'll try to explain that. This might be a little bit of a long video, people, so I'm sorry, but there's just a lot to talk about and a lot to cover, and a lot to make sure that everybody understands what I'm thinking and the facts behind everything. There are numerous types of people that attend church. You got the ones that it is in their hearts. They are true believers. They don't always study to show themselves approved. They listen to the preacher or listen to a deacon. Then you got the ones that go because their spouse or girlfriend is making them go, or boyfriend, I should say. Well, no, it's more or less the girls. Usually the wives and mothers are usually, they got to keep an appearance up, and they got to go because either they just got to be able to say to their family on Sunday dinner that they went, or mama or grandmama or aunt or whatever, or uncle so and so, aunt so and so, they attend the same church, and it'll get out to the family. Hey, you didn't show up this morning. You didn't show up this evening. What happened? So they're dragging the husband and kids to put on a show, to put on an act, to make it look good. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not saying that they don't have, some of them, I'm not saying that some of them don't have a heart to do it also, and their spouses have a heart as well for it. A lot of them do it because, well, they don't want later on that night, you know, they're getting all cuddle bug in the bed, smoochy, smoochy, smoochy. They don't want, oh, so you didn't feel like attending, but you felt like humping me? How's that supposed to work? You couldn't come to church, or you came with a bad attitude, but you somehow came up with a good attitude in bed tonight. You didn't do whatever. You didn't take care of my needs in church. That's a sin. For her to act that way is a sin. And then you got the ones to where, well, they're dragging their kids. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dragging your kid to church. Okay? They need, they need to go. When they're young, when they're little, they need to go. They need to be taught right and direct and led, guide, and directed right, and have that experience. They need to go to have that experience. I know there's another one I'm probably missing. One or two more I'm probably missing. But, oh yeah, and then you got the ones that go. They're looking for a handout. Not a hand up, but a handout. They come in, pouring tears, squeezing out them crocodile tears, talking about what's happened to them for the week or whatever. How they just know God's got a blessing. God told them, you need to come in because I got a blessing waiting for you. And people start feeling compelled, give. And then you don't see them, you might see them for another week or two to pay back what you gave them. They attend. And then you don't see them for a while. All of a sudden, this excuse, that excuse, whatever excuse. Hold on 1 second. Alright, that should cover it, I think. Let's find out. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Should be right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, sorry about that. My alert went off, letting me know that phone needed to be charged. Sorry. I should have done that earlier. That way we wouldn't have to worry about all that. But anyway, like I said, you got those that come in. They're looking for a handout. woe is me, pitiful me. I got this kind of life. All the above. Don't get me wrong. We're supposed to help. We're supposed to help people. But they're supposed to also help themselves. Why do you think it's written? Why do you think it's in the Bible? Well, why do you think I ain't gonna know. I'm just gonna say this. Why do you think it said, give a man a fish, feed him for a day? Teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a week. Too many people don't want to be taught how to fish. They just want you to hand them a fish. I don't have a problem with helping people as long as they finally work out getting back on their own feet. If they keep on repeating the same habits and having the same conclusions, eventually you're gonna it's going. You'll have to realize that you can only help them so much, time or two, whatever. You can't keep helping them. That's like them going back to mama. My baby. Yeah, you enable your damn baby then. Enable your damn baby. And then you wonder why he or she keeps coming back with them damn grandkids or whatever. Coming into your home and occupying it for 6 months every damn time. But anyway, I think that's got everybody covered that you face in church. You got the ones that's been there for a while. They're members. Some of the same scenarios with that. But you got a lot of good actors in church and actresses. If we want to be, male, female, I'm just gonna say actors. I'm gonna put all of you in one pool. Got a bunch of good actors in church. They get up there, raising their hands, praising God, or putting on the act that they're praising God. They leave church, or they get outside in the parking lot, and they're not acting like church. They're not acting like church people. They're not acting like Christians. I know that no one's perfect, but still. You know what the sin is, and yet you still do it. So, back to me. I got heavily in the church. We did. There every time the doors open. Took the kids to church when they were born. Kept them in church for a little bit. Had them Sunday school and everything. Did vacation Bible school. Brought them to vacation Bible school. Then I started driving a truck. Had to be on the road. Couldn't make it home to go to church. Or go to my church. Go to my home church. I could find a church out there to go to, but that's kind of hard to do when you're always in a different area or whatever. You're trying to learn the territory. And then me and a friend of mine that I'd known ever since 6th grade, we talked about it. He wasn't always going because his work kept him out of town a lot. And, even he made the comment, says, and I kind of took it kind of disheartening to start with when he first said it. But he made the comment, you don't have to necessarily go to a building to attend church. And, you always be with a group of like-minded Christians and have Bible study. That's technically what church is. That's what, preacher delivering a message is. You're having Bible study. You just call it, preaching. When you go to Sunday school, that's Bible study, and it's still a form of preaching. Well, he was right. That's right. That is correct. You don't have to go to a building. You don't have to go to a certain place at a certain time to have church. And, like I said, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not bashing anybody that goes. If you feel led by God that that's what you need to do, so be it. Just saying, don't come tell me that I'm sinning. I used to be a teacher. I used to teach Sunday school. Not every Sunday. I'd stand in for teachers, and I would teach Sunday school. Sometimes I kind of got a little too wound up and a little too loud, and people thought I was fixing to start preaching. At one point, I almost announced my calling to go to preach, because I felt that strongly led by God, by the Spirit, that that's what I was supposed to be doing. Seriously. I almost announced my calling to preach. I got scared. I got nervous. No, that's not godly, but I did. But then I just started reflecting on, as time went on, when you stop going to church because your job requires you to go out of town a lot, I started getting people, members asking us, "Hey, where you been? We've been missing you. Been seeing you. They'll hopefully see you again. You don't show up." And they start talking about you. Start talking bad about you. Christians ain't supposed to do that with each other. You're supposed to uplift one another and always be in prayer for each other. And asking God to help them. Supposed to ask for help for one another. Come by and check on them. Be an uplift. But we're being talked about. Some of it from family members. I ain't going to call your names, but if you're watching, you know who you are. Just because you don't agree with what I do or don't do, doesn't mean you have a right to go start running your mouth. I got asked one time, why don't I go to church? Why don't I attend church? And my answer was, because I don't agree with it. What I really meant to say was, I didn't agree with that particular denomination. And you know who I'm talking about. The person that just heard that, if they are listening, they know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. I still love you, though. And I know you were in a bad spot that evening because of a close to the heart death that was about to take place. That with someone that you knew. And I get that. So please don't take what I just said wrong. But I'm just, It gets old. People out there bashing others for not going. And I used to ask the same stuff. I used to try to talk to people about it. I used to try to convince them, that the best thing in life is to go back. And then later, as I had to experience it myself, I think God was trying to take me to the whipping post and show me what these people were going through. And I was wrong for trying to make some. Excuse me. I was wrong for trying to make somebody think or feel that they're not a Christian if they don't go to church. That's just wrong. That is so wrong. Who died and made you God? What gives you the right to make that statement? Who are you? What gives you the right to make the statement that if I don't go to a certain church, then I'm not a real follower? I don't bash you that you don't agree with our denomination. Who are you? Getting into arguments with people because of their beliefs, or sometimes what I can also say about some of you, your misunderstandings. One in particular argue with you till the cows come home, even though they know that they're wrong. Just love trying to argue with family about church and about God. Believe it or not, I'm still a believer. I don't read daily like I once used to. I don't pray every day like I once used to. But I know He knows what's on my mind and what's on my heart and where my heart is. And that's all that really matters. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And I know God is not capable of telling a lie. And He's only made one mistake. And He admitted to that. And that was the flood. That's why we have a rainbow at times. That's the I know the word for it, I just can't think of the proper term for it, but you know what I mean. But that's His way of saying He'll never do that again. But yeah, bottom line is, there's a lot of actors, good and bad, in church. They put on a front. And I just don't trust anybody in church anymore. You go to church, you gotta watch everybody. They walk up, hi, how are you? Good morning, nice to see you here. Yeah, and then when you turn your back, they're going, I don't know, you've seen them here. You're right. See you again. Getting ready to leave. Oh, nice seeing you. Good to see you. Yeah, you gonna be here tonight? You gonna be here tonight? Oh, okay. Well, great. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hey, if you're ever around, you're welcome to come by the house sometime. And I can bring you this and do this. Yeah. Nice done. Yeah, great. And as soon as you turn your back, full of shit. I can't stand a fake person. Even if it ain't in church. I cannot stand a fake. If you have to try that damn hard to make a good impression, there's a problem. Two types of people I can't stand in life. Thieves, a thief, and a liar. And there ain't no difference in the two of them. They're the same thing. Because the liar, I didn't want to do the other finger like that. The liar steals the truth. I just can't. That's why I just, I may go back, but it'll be to the church that, as far as I'm concerned, we've been members with all these years, which is Old Bethel Baptist Church in Chickamauga, Georgia, pastored by Steve Camp. That would be the only church that I could truly care to attend. And it may not be every time. Probably won't be every time. Probably just be, as I think about it. But in the meantime, I'm no less of a Christian than you are. I can have church and I can have church in this house. I can give a Bible study to my kids and my wife right here in the living room, and record it and post it. Matter of fact, that gives me an idea. That way I ain't got to worry about, anyone's mouth. That might be something I look at, maybe starting to do. I'm looking over at Kayla. She's sitting on the couch drinking her water. She's over, big old smiley face, and saying, no, Daddy, please don't. No, Daddy, please don't. Well, you know what? Too bad, so sad. My decision, not yours. Anyway. The best unpaid actors are in church. And they could easily, if they ever got noticed by a talent agent, easily get a job in Hollywood. Some better than others. Some, and you can tell the best ones, they can pull the same con, and you still not, and you every time they do it, and you realize what they've done, and they do it, and they come back and start trying to do it again, and you don't even realize that they've done it again. because that's how gullible you are. You've got your guard down because you're not expecting those type of people in church. And sadly enough, there shouldn't be an issue with that type of people in church, honestly. But you know what? It was going on before Christ came. And it was going on when Christ came. It was going on as Christ matured. And Christ pointed it out. Called him out on it. But anyway, I did not intend to offend any of you. I didn't intend to upset or aggravate any of you. But this was the video and the material that I told you that I had been dragging out. I shouldn't have. I should have just did it. Well, if you disagreed or not. I don't do any of this stuff to get your blessing. I do it because I feel led to do it. Because it's something that these topics get on my mind, and before I know it, I'm already thinking of a script, and then I'm working on trying to make the time to make it happen. Here lately, I've been able to make more happen than when I used to. But anyway, we're 40-something minutes into this. Just want you guys to understand, I wasn't trying to be mean. I wasn't trying to upset you. I'm just trying to be honest. I don't agree and don't make this comment. I already know. Those kids have been to church. They know. They've been taught. They've been to Sunday school. They've been to church. They've heard me teach. They've heard me preach. Or they've heard me teach. Me and Josh have gotten into conversations. He's 17. He made the comment, I think like he was 14, 15. This was back, well, no, it was even before that, I believe. It was while we were going through that defects crap. And they were all having to live with Granny. And she was taking them. That's fine. And after they come back and everything, he was asking questions and stuff, asking me questions. And he admitted later on that he'd prayed the sinner's prayer and asked God to forgive him. So, the only thing I can do is take his word that he's saved. Don't start in on the water stuff. Because if he was to have accepted in his bedroom that night, or whenever he did it, and something happened, he fell and broke his neck and died, I know he would have went to heaven, regardless of the water baptism. You don't have to be baptized to be saved. That is a work. Least any man should boast. Salvation is the gift of God, not that of man. But anyway, like I said, I didn't. No offending intended. You're welcome to disagree. That's fine. If you can't If you can't respect it, then just don't watch. Or cut it off. You're not going to offend me. But there you go. That's what's been on my mind all this time. I got to kind of try to come up with some new material. It shouldn't be too hard. Eventually something will happen or come up, and I'll get my mind. I might, and I'm being serious. I may just start. Coming up with some ideas for some Bible studies, Bible lessons, and I may start doing some of that for material. But by all means, without any, by all means, we've got to do stuff on Trump, regardless if you would like it or not. We got to do stuff on Trump. Sorry. The Dodge Committee is making the Democrats miserable because they know they're going to get caught and hiding something. That's why they're acting like spoiled brats and pinching their tantrums and doing their charades that they're doing and acting out the way they're acting in public and in their little and their what do you call it, the standing outside and protesting. Yeah. Good luck, because we ain't listening. We're going to let you go at it. We ain't listening. You ain't going to be able to stop it. The judges ain't going to be able to stop it. Inevitably, they'll be overruled. It'll go to the Supreme Court and they'll be overruled. All these federal judges ain't going to make a crap. They'll be overruled in Supreme Courts. So, good luck. Please rest your brains and get some rest. Elon Musk is doing exactly what he's been allowed to do by Trump. Trump hired him. If you want to have that argument, then, well, you know what? No one said anything about when Fauci was involved. Telling us we had to stay at home, stay in the house. They were trying to, force a mandate and try to say we had to comply because for some reason the word mandate somehow means law when it doesn't. No, mandate is just a strong suggestion, the way I put it. And no, I don't have to abide by it. I wouldn't have cared if I had a deputy sheriff show up my driveway. Hey, sir, you got to get back in your house. No, sir, I don't. Well, yes, sir, we're under a public mandate. No, that's not a law. It's a suggestion. I'm in my own yard. I'm on private property. You can't make me go inside. I'm not drunk in disorder. Bye, Felicia. Anyway, 50 minutes. We're going to cut it loose. Take care. I'm going to think on those Bible studies to record and do them with the family, possibly. And we're going to do some more topics on Trump and Trump administration, things like that. And anyway, love you guys, appreciate you. The ones that do watch, would appreciate you subscribing. Would appreciate you giving a like or dislike. But would appreciate you subscribing. I got more subscribers and more views on Rumble than I do here. Is it really that tough of a crowd on YouTube? Jeez. Okay, anyway, love y'all. See you later. Take care. Stay dry. Stay warm. Be safe. And until next time, later.